Welcome to Mr. Garofalo's podcast. In this episode, we're looking at multiplication of monomials and polynomials, and this is homework problem number 8 from your worksheet. In this problem, we're asked to multiply a monomial, negative 3 x to the fourth y, times a trinomial, x squared minus 3xy squared plus 10xy. So remember from class, essentially what's happening when you're multiplying a monomial times a polynomial, you essentially need to distribute or use the distributive property. So this monomial here must be multiplied by all the terms that you see inside the parentheses. So I'm going to break this one down into each step. If I follow my first arrow here, I see negative 3x to the fourth y is going to be multiplied by x squared. Now, there is a coefficient of x squared. It's a 1. So it would be negative 3 times 1 would be negative 3. And then I would look for my variables with the same base. X to the fourth and x squared have the same base. Using the laws of exponents, I can say that x to the fourth times x squared is x to the sixth. Now notice there is no y variable with this term, x squared. However, there is a y variable with this term, negative 3x to the fourth y. What this means is that I cannot just simply lose this variable. I cannot leave this as my product. Technically, what's happening here is that we could write a y, but it would have to be raised to the 0 power. Since any number raised to the 0 is 1, we wouldn't change the value of the expression if we raised it to the 0 power. And then y is really y to the first. So what would happen is y to the first times y to the 0. If we add 1 plus 0, it would be 1. So we'd be left with just plain old y. Now, we don't typically write this. You're not going to see this, but you'll need to know that if you have a variable and there does not appear that variable in the term that you're multiplying by, you'll simply just bring it down in the product. And that's what happened here. Notice there was a y, and in the product there was a y. All right, as we follow our next arrow, we have negative 3x to the fourth y now times negative 3xy squared. That's coming from following my second arrow. Here I have negative 3 times negative 3, I get positive 9. X to the fourth times x to the fifth, and y times y squared, y to the third. And then I follow my last arrow, and we'll just switch colors up here. We'd have negative 3x to the fourth y times 10y. So negative 3 times 10 would be negative 30. Now here's the case that's happening again. I have x to the fourth, but there's no x in this expression. Okay? We could technically say that there is an x, but it's raised to the 0. So x to the fourth times x to the 0, when you add 4 plus 0, is really just x to the fourth. Okay? Again, we don't write that. We'll need to know that if there's no x to the fourth, if there's x to the fourth and we're not multiplying by a variable with an x, then look, it'll just come down to that in that product. And then y times y would be y squared. Okay? At this point, we want to look for any like terms. Here I have x to the sixth y, x to the fifth y to the third, and x to the fourth y squared. So there are no like terms. So that means our answer will have 3 terms in it. It's a trinomial. Our product is a trinomial. What we do want to look at is the degree of each term. And we can write in our missing exponents here. So 1. So this would be 6 plus 1. That would be 7th degree term. 5 plus 3 is 8. So that's an 8th degree term. And 4 plus 2 is 6. So the black here, that's the highest degree. So that really should go first. 9x to the fifth, y to the third. The next highest degree is what's in blue. So minus 3, x to the sixth, y. And the lowest degree is what's in red, minus 30, x to the fourth, y squared. And that is our product. Oops. That is our product. Oh, left out y squared here. That is our product or answer for this problem. Hopefully you found this helpful and follow this procedure through each problem, and you should find some success. See you in class.